So these are the Rossi Cobras, and that always kind of reminds me of that Sylvester Stallone movie, you know, where Sly plays this cop who doesn't follow the rules, who's super cool, and will kill a few hundred bad guys to save a pretty girl. And, you know, I guess that's what it's all about, right? So these Cobras, I don't know if they're like Sly, but they're... You know, Rossi makes some amazing boards, and we really haven't gotten to know their bindings that well. The few times that I've ridden them, I found that they're okay. They don't scream out like, hey, we suck, but they don't seem to compete when I compare them against some of my favorites in some ways. And let's talk about the negative a little bit. You know, you're looking at just a full-on, hard-ass base plate that fits with the board. So it just makes the whole board dead underfoot where this binding has contact. Even the disc is just kind of like thick, and they're not super heavy, but it's Burton channel compatible, so it's versatile. Now, the rest of the binding isn't bad. You know, it's got toe ramp adjustability. It's got a little bit of shock absorption in the heel, but you're looking at another just, you know, deadened spot. I'd love to see them start to channel this out and to kind of reduce contact with the board, so there's less of a dead spot. But at least you got a little shock absorption, you got a little EVA foam, it's all toe ramp, it's just all plastic, and you've got 3 spots to move it up and back to dial it out to your boot size to make sure it's centered properly on the board. But here's the interesting part, and I think this is kind of cool and unique with Rossi, is with these bindings, you can just adjust this heel loop according to your boot size. You know, you see 8, and then you see 10, 11 up here, and you kind of like slide it to where you think your boot will be perfectly centered. You can go by the sizing, but it's better to kind of put the boot in and go, okay, you know, and you have a binding that perfectly fits your boot. So that's a real positive. You know, ratchets are okay. These are brand new out of the factory. They're not like a lot of demo models you'll see on the table or models that I've owned and used, but they work. And they're a little sticky, but over time they break in. This toe ramp, why do I always call it a toe ramp? The toe strap isn't bad and holds boots well enough. You've got just a little magnet lift here, little mag lift here to get this open. Here, wait, let me lift this up and kind of show you. There's a little magnet right here, and it just flops down, and which is fine, because once your boot's on it, it's fine. You've got, you know, no real adjustability here. It just kind of pops in where it is. But you've got this slider here. You've got some high back rotation, and they already come, or do they? No, need to readjust this, but you can rotate them a little bit. You have, I don't know if you can see here, but you have 2 squares. 2 slots to adjust this, so you can rotate them a little bit, but the highbacks got a little twist to it. It's a lot stiffer than you would think, and then you can kind of play around with the forward lean. You know, I'd want mine all the way up, as high as it can go, and that's fine. But you know, this is just a look under the pretty lights. I'll give you a lot more on snow. You can see above, but you can kind of adjust the straps really easily. I guess you can. I could before. I don't know what's going on with this one, but you just pull this and it slides up and then holds in place, never comes loose. So not only is it quick and easily adjustable, but it holds really well. So once it's in there, once you ratchet down, it's in there. And I like this ankle strap. It's soft, it's not too heavy, it's supportive, but it also allows a little freedom of movement. So there you have it. You know, the Cobra. It's not a bad binding. not a great one, but it works for what it is and for its price point. And yeah, if they could just do a little bit of work with the base plate, I think they'd have a pretty good binding.